Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, July 1st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, BBAI. Tracked this one quite a bit last week, and the upwards movement continues, higher highs and higher lows. Had this wedge formation that formed over the past couple of days last week, but got off to a very nice start to the new week, broke up above there, gap up, and then just continue on up through there. So definitely a great way to start the week, assuming you're bullish, of course. So I'll delete those lines out, and we'll just start afresh. And as of right now, pretty much just a good old-fashioned bullish pattern here that you've heard me talk about many times before on the channel if you've watched these videos. So let's just get this drawn into play. So the top part of the pattern is a resistance portion right there. And then bottom part of the pattern, pretty much just mimicking it. And then just to make the pattern easier to see, let's keep it all one color. So we have this area of resistance. We have this area of support. This main job is just to illustrate the fact that, to be fair, yes, as of right now, there has been a pullback, but part of caring about the big picture is saying, okay, yeah, fair enough. As of right now, there's a slight pullback, but what was happening before the pullback? And before that, well, the price was here and it went all the way up there. So when you take a step back and consider the overall standpoint, we now are looking at a bull flag pattern. Not just because something's in a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guarantee the price is going to go upwards, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price putzes around here, comes up and then breaks through there, is it valid again to throw out the question that that break right there could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. So if you like bull flag patterns, you like this price range, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, GNLN. First off, I'm sorry you're not rich. There was what happened is a reverse split. So it's just a change within the share structure. So I know this was just, down at, in pennies. And now some people are like, whoa, I got rich. Unfortunately, no, not the way it works. The amount of shares you owned dropped drastically. And there just happened to be worth a little bit more. But no, nobody got rich. So again, if you're new, what happened is called a reverse split. But back to the chart here. Let's get things mapped out here as there was a pretty big explosion and some key levels to watch moving forward. So the first part of the pattern, I'm just going to use this pink line right there, the 200 period moving average, as the top part of the pattern and resistance. So let's just draw this across the top. And again, that's just representing the resistance right there at $6.50. And then on the flip side, there is this nice area of support right there that has been put into play. And then just to complete the pattern, let's bring this down right here. And then for you golfers, make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. And this would be a bull pennant pattern. So as I just mentioned, just because there's a bullish pattern doesn't mean the price for sure going to go upwards, but it's at least a plausible thought to have. But I will also note on this one, I don't want to call it a do or die, but I would certainly say the lower part here, very, very important area that you would want to see hold, because if the price comes down there and breaks below it, again, no guarantees, but I don't think anybody would be shocked to see the price potentially drift back into this area of the chart, which is essentially the price going right back to where it started. But as of now, bull pennant pattern, just make sure that, ideally the price stays above the lower portion of the pattern itself. Next one, taking a look at BMNR, monster mover today, and now some very well-defined levels. I think the area that most people will be watching is right up here, give or take around the $30 mark as that key area of resistance. Again, it's a little give or take because right here the price didn't quite hit it, went slightly above it right there, slightly above it right there, didn't quite hit it right there. So like I said, just trying to find a common kind of middle ground, and I think $30 is an area that everybody and their brother's uncle is going to be watching, which again does not guarantee anything, but when a lot of people are watching the same areas and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So again, no guarantees, but is it plausible that if the price comes up here and breaks up through there, that break right there could create, good solid buying pressure? Absolutely a more than valid question to throw out there and, put as a suggestion. If there is any sort of bigger pullbacks, then I would say a key level to watch from that standpoint. Down here, let me change this to green for support. It would be down here right around that level of $19. But yes, all eyes on $30. Can it push up through? We'll see what happens. Next one, KLTO, and I'm going to go through this one very quickly because you've already heard me talk about this pattern, and I want to respect your time as much as possible. So let's just get the pattern into play. So we have the top part of the pattern right there as resistance. We have the bottom part right there as support. And then just to keep it all one color, resistance, support, big move. Ooh, that was pretty rough. Let's try that again. Big move up right there. Golf hole down here, looking at another bull pennant pattern. So I'd say the biggest difference here is this one's a little bit on the cheaper side around the dollar mark. But if you like this price range right around $1, you like bull pennants, here you go. Next one, HOOD, Robinhood, and overall, not a lot I can really say, but we do get to ask a very exciting question because as of right now, so let me just bring this up. There was this nice little consolidation pattern, you know, pretty much a little miniature bear pennant, or I'm sorry, bull pennant, not bear pennant, bull pennant pattern. And you can see that as I speak, and that's why I like to do these when the markets are open, the price is actually pushed up through here. And this does now lead to a very exciting question to be able to ask, and that question is this. Is this the start of something bigger? Now think about that question. It makes no sense to ask it if nothing worthwhile is happening in the first place, right? Because if you say, oh, is this the start? What is what the start? Nothing's even happening. But in this situation, yeah, you have the breakout. So yes, is this the start of something bigger? A more than valid question. To be fair, I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing just rolls right back over. But again, to be fair, well, I mean, maybe it is the start of something much bigger, and this thing's getting ready to rock and roll that much more. So yes, you have the late day bull pennant breakout on HOOD. Is it the start of something bigger? Grab your popcorn for Tuesday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering later on this week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down below in the description area, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can use to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one, NVDA, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the video from Friday, but I talked about this pattern here. And in all actuality, the price is still maintaining and respecting the pattern, specifically here on the support part of the pattern with the area, or with this green line right here. You can see later on in the day, the price came down here. There was that little bit of a false break right there, but other than that, the price got back above it. And then actually, let me zoom in here a little bit, and you can see that as of right now, the final 30 minutes, good solid green candle. So this is just zoomed in, and like I said, there is the fake breakdown of it. So when you stop and think about it, at one point the price was right there, and now the price has recovered all the way back upwards. So good to see the price continuing to respect the bottom part of the pattern. If this continues, then the next key area of resistance, not until the upper part of the resistance up around that area. But all in all, the price is still putting in higher highs and most importantly higher lows, and that's the name of the game. So NVIDIA off to a nice strong start. Next one, PLUG, and overall very, very nice day and a very familiar pattern that, again, in the spirit of respecting your time, want to go through relatively quickly. So there we have our area of resistance. Here we have our area of support, and just because I cannot help myself, let's all keep it one color. So we have our resistance, our support, the nice upwards move right here, the golf hole down here, and we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you're liking bull pennants, you like bull flags, quite the variety here headed into Tuesday. Next one here, HCTI, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, but if you have and you have a good memory, hopefully remember me talking about 0.0296 as the key battleground. And I mean, you can't make this stuff. Check it out. Midday today, big move up, and right where did this big move stop? Right there. Now, that's not to say that the price can never break above that area. I'm just saying that according to the chart, it makes sense why the price did ultimately find some sellers right there. But moving into not necessarily Tuesday, but the foreseeable future, 0.0296 will be public enemy number one from a resistance standpoint. So keep an eye on that. In regards to levels of support, the two main levels to keep an eye on. The ideal level, I mean, if Clay won't make this chart look the best moving forward, would be if the price can stay up here above that area at 0.025. But if that level cannot hold, I would say the way more important, I'm not going to quite call it a do or die, but certainly a very important area of support would be that pink line right there, the 200 period moving average, which you can see over here right now valued at 0.0229. So keep an eye on these dynamics here. But yeah, no doubt about it today. Good solid. In fact, I guess now that I look a little bit quickly, we have basically a bull pennant. I don't know if that's the most beautiful bull pennant pattern, but I can see the argument being made that there is a bull pennant. But all in all, good movement today, good start. We'll see if this volume can maybe lead to another push up through the pennant and then get a break up through that key red line. Next one, VOR. I did this one last week, talked about the bull pennant, and this is why I love bull pennants and bull flags. Not that this happens every time, but just a classic move right there. Came up the opening 30 minutes, broke up through that area, and then just a very, very nice move, which is now kind of giving us a case of deja vu because, yes, we're now just simply looking at another bull pennant pattern. So let's get this mapped out. So we have our area of, maybe this is more of a bull flag. I guess you can be the judge. You can comment below if you want. Do you think this is a bull pennant or a bull flag? But the psychology is the same, because what the psychology is saying is that there is a big move up, and then there is some form of pullback. So not just a question of, is this pullback going to be healthy? Is it, a worthwhile consolidation that can generate another surge in the upwards direction? So that would be the main question to watch moving forward. But yeah, anyway you want to look at a bull pennant, bull flag. But like I said, you've seen this pattern plenty, so there's no need for me to continue to rehash the same points. But yes, if you like this price range down below the $2 mark, here you go. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and this is going to mean way more to those people that watch the previous videos. But if you did, then I hope you remember me drawing in that line right there. And I bring that up because this just illustrates the power of charts. Now, are charts perfect? No, there's no perfect thing out there. But do charts belong in what I would argue a trader's tool belt? Absolutely, and we have a great example of that. I put that line in there and said, I'm very curious. Let's see if that comes into play. And wouldn't you know it, like I said, you can't make this stuff up. Price came down right here, essentially bounced off it, not quite, but right here. I mean, bounced directly off of that line. That, again, if you think I threw this in here in some sort of hindsight, I'm not offended. All you got to do is go back, watch the top 10 video from Friday, and you'll see I drew that line in right there. So again, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I am patting charts on the back. They are a worthwhile tool that I think should be learned. So more of the story, though, moving into the next few days, continue to watch that trend line right there as the main area of support. And then in regards of areas of resistance, yes, we have this overarching level up here at 330. But now I think we have more of a near-term level to keep an eye on. Oops. Which would be right here at that area. And maybe, I don't know if I'd be fully on board. I wouldn't call your argument crazy, but if you want to call this some sort of falling wedge pattern, I could see where that's coming from. But like I said, I'm not quite sure if I'm fully there, but again, I would not call that crazy. So maybe this is a poor man's falling wedge, if you want to call it that. Falling wedge, by the way, is a bullish pattern. So keep an eye on that dynamic too. But overall, Tesla's hanging in there. And if this is some sort of, true falling wedge, bullish pattern, then yeah, maybe, just maybe, the price can make another push up to that 330 mark at some point this week. So we'll see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, July 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, as always, make sure you hit that like button if you enjoy. And also, if you are not aware, I have been live streaming. So if you want to come hang out during the day, watch me trade live, ask me questions, or like I said, just interact and hang out, then make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you are notified of when I do go live during the day. So it's nothing better when somebody shows up and says, hey, I watch your top 10 videos. It's always fun to make that connection with people. So definitely swing by if that sounds like it could be any interest to you. So again, subscribe and turn on notifications. So thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.